Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome once again. We are here, and I am super duper jazzed to be here today with all of you. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. And of course, it is time once again, everyone, to play here some Midweek Magic. And we're going to be doing some Brawl, of course, with today's event. Also, of course, the number one thing we're going to have to talk about is Modern Horizons 3 is finally here. So, without further ado, let's go ahead, let's jump in. Alright, so there we go. Oh, actually, let's go ahead, let's see if we can refresh this real quick. The Midweek Magic event should be starting up in just a second here. So it's officially 2. So, okay, there it is. Nice. Okay, so we're obviously going to be jumping into this just like we do every week. We're going to be talking, of course, about Modern Horizons 3. I've already just cracked a ton of packs, and good lord, I feel super broke already. But considering, again, that I went through so many actual commons and uncommon, all of wild cards I could, just to get exactly everything we need for the future decks we're going to be doing. Don't worry, we are going to be talking about through the stream itself. We'll be doing quite a few actual, mostly just going to be Brawl today, but again, we'll be, of course, kind of touching base with what can we build. The only hard part, again, is man, it is going to be a lot of rare and mythic wild cards we're going to have to burn through. Oh my goodness. I honestly just cracked like about maybe like, I don't know, 70 packs just to get ourselves ready, and man, I still feel like I don't have enough cards. So this set's definitely going to burn me on a lot of the rares and mythics we're going to need. But don't worry, not that you need to worry about that, because I, of course, need to do this only because I need to have enough to ensure that we can definitely have what we need for the upcoming budget decks that we do. Don't worry, we have a ton of budget decks that I'm already brewing right now. I'm super jazzed about that, but it's going to take a little bit of time because, again, we need a little bit of time just to kind of build up everything we need. I mean, again, like I'll kind of give you a quick little sneak peek. So we definitely are going to be playing around with a handful of things. So I already have a couple of decks that I want to do, but again, there's one or two of them that also I'm working on the bottom here that we don't have enough raiders for all this stuff. So we're going to take our time. This again will be coming up in hopefully in the next couple weeks where I have more time and I can then build up some more wild cards to put together the awesome decks. But what exactly are we playing today? Well, the Midweek Magic event, as you kind of saw, is going to be Brawl. For those of you, again, who may have forgotten, Historic Brawl is now just simply called Brawl, but it is basically Commander 1v1 in Arena, for those that are unaware. But in any case, the point I'm trying to make, though, is we're going to be mostly playing Brawl today. We've sprinkled in a couple of cards. I haven't had a chance to really test this deck out too much. I mean, yes, I did some testing last night. I posted about that on my various socials. But the only tricky part was there were, again, a handful of cards that we couldn't add in because of the fact that, well, the set just came out a couple hours ago, and I only just barely begun trying to put stuff together. So most of it is still untested, but I'm still feeling pretty hyped about it. But in any case, how are you all doing today? Hopefully, again, wherever you are watching this, whether, again, you are watching here live now, or if you are, say, maybe watching a replay of this, a replay will be going up, of course, later on. So whether you are watching it there or here, I appreciate your support and checking me out. But in any case, enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about today's event. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a Brawl deck. So we're going to be jumping in right now since we're just getting this started. And today's deck, don't worry, I'm going to be covering this in just a second. So we're just going to submit it. So this is actually based upon somewhat of a deck that I already have together. I have a Breya deck myself. She's actually one of my favorite commanders out there. She is pretty popular, of course, as is. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, we don't actually have any actual 4-color commanders besides Breya. Most of them are just kind of like partner versions, but hopefully again in the future maybe they'll make some more 4-color commanders. I would love to see more. Personally, again, I would love to see actually an energy one. That actually would be pretty hype. But the 3-color one they have right now, we'll also touch upon that one a little bit later on. Any case, as I mentioned earlier, this basically is going to be focusing on mostly what all of you voted on. If you saw the poll go up on various socials, mostly on YouTube, a lot of you voted and you all wanted to see a Thopter deck that's budget and using Breya. So without further ado, this is Breya's Thopters. But exactly how were we going to be taking advantages? So for those of you who have lived under a rock, maybe again you haven't been playing as long as I have, those of you who haven't seen it, Breya Ethereum Shaper here has now made her debut into Modern, and mostly again we're going to focus on her playing here today. Maybe I might do a future deck for Timeless using her, but again that'll be something down the line. Any case, what we're going to be showing you right now is how we utilize this card. Breya Ethereum Shaper is a 4-mana card here that's a legendary artifact human, and when it enters the battlefield, you can make 2 1/1 Thopter creature tokens. You can play 2 and then choose one of these abilities by sacking 2 artifacts, where you can either dish damage out to a player or planeswalker. You can then do a -4/-4 on a creature, or you can gain Fine Life. So in other words, she's got a lot of options for ourselves here. And in fact, the deck actually works very well without needing her on the battlefield immediately. So that's one of the nice things about this deck. Otherwise, one of the big things again with this deck is we were focusing, as I mentioned earlier, on keeping this as budget as possible. I think the budget that I managed to get away with is, actually, now that I think about it, I think we have it at, just under $50 for this deck. So if you actually want to put this together in paper and make it completely compatible for Arena, this is actually a really sweet option for you, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Otherwise, let me know in your comments below whether, again, you're watching this live or if you're checking out the replay, what would you like to see me put together again? For those of you who haven't seen my channel, I'm mostly a budget-focused deck building channel. We mostly do a lot of deck techs which focus on just, I would say 90% of it is just going to be budget only. We do play some non-budget decks every so often, so if you're interested, be sure to check me out on YouTube, and I would love to see all of you there. In any case, let's now kind of cover a little bit in order here. It's going to be a bit before we actually jump into the matches, so bear with me, everybody. Don't worry. We're going to go, of course, into Midweek Magic as soon as we can, but I just got to kind of churn through this ASAP. So the whole point, of course, with the deck is we're just, again, all artifacts, and we're trying to make as many Thopter tokens to then take advantage of Breya's abilities here, and also utilize additional value pieces that we'll talk about right here. So obviously in the 1-drop slot here, not too many creatures, but we do have a couple. So we have Ornithopter. It's essential. It literally is a staple for the deck, and that's what we need. It's free. Malachor Rebirth here. It's going to be something that you can bounce if you need to, help for a little bit of protection, bring something back if we need to in a pinch. Strike It Rich here, of course, just for a little bit of pseudo ramp. One of the biggest weaknesses, of course, with this color combination is without access to green, we sometimes struggle a little bit on ramping, but even so, we do pretty well with what we have. So, of course, we have this for treasure tokens. Excuse me. Retrofitter Foundry here, also essential for the deck. It's one of our rares we will use because, again, making servos, making, of course, Thopters is going to be really great for us, and those constructs are going to be super sweet as the game progresses. Soul Guide Lantern here is going to be our catch-all removal spell. We can have a couple of options to bring back artifacts, so we're just going to throw this in there and jam it. Spring Leaf Drum here, since we will have a lot of tokens, we can also utilize them to tap for some mana if we need to in a pinch. Hangerback Walker here. I absolutely love this card myself personally because, again, as you keep putting +1/+1 counters on it, if it does die, you can then make a ton of Thoppers, which is exactly what we need. So we can either go super big or super wide. This is, again, now where the meat comes into the deck. So we have all that glitters here. Super awesome for our deck. And a great way to finish off our opponent if we have a flyer. Barb Spike here again. ETBs, makes a Thopter token. It's essential for the deck. Kabira's Takedown here. We also have a handful of these just to kind of help us give a little bit more leeway with our mana base. So we have Bayeen Veil, of course. Sedri's Shelter, Kabira Takedown as examples here. Great cards. They come into play tapped, but what's sweet about them is, again, they can utilize them in a pinch if you need to, either as tap land or as a spell. So Kabira Takedown just does a little extra damage. Sedri's Shelter for protection. Pichigo's Reign of Truth here, also super awesome for us because of all that glitters is here as well. Deadly Dispute, we got to have these because we will have a ton of tokens to work with in artifacts, so of course it's essential for the deck for some card draw and some ramp. Fanatical Offering here, again, not as good as Deadly Dispute, but still pretty awesome for the deck, and it can help us do some pseudo ramping. Dowsing Dagger here, another really awesome little card here that I think is really, really sweet, so definitely we got to throw it in there, and also we can flip it for some mana, and also it's used its pump ability in the mid to late game. Reckless Fireweaver here, also another card that I absolutely love to play because, again, with all the artifacts we make, we'll be able to burn out our opponent very quickly if they're not taking this card seriously. We're going to utilize a little bit of Impulse Draw, so we have Reckless Impulse and we have Ren's Resolve. I'll explain why these are here as opposed to other card draw styles in just a little bit. Yotiel's Declare War here, again, makes a Thopter for us. We can then utilize it later on for its additional abilities, so really, really sweet for the deck. Goldforge Thopter X, we actually don't have that many legendary permanents in our deck because, again, we are budget, but again, it's a really sweet card because of its abilities, and also it is a Thopter, so it's essential for the deck. Enthusiastic Mechanaut makes all of our artifact spells cheaper, definitely got to have it in the deck. Expressive Iteration, sorry, words are hard, by the way. Any case, so Expressive Iteration, same thing. It does do a little bit of exiling for us. We will definitely need that for some card advantage in the mid to late game. Gleaming Gear Drake here, also another super sweet card that I haven't had a chance to play with that much, but it's actually pretty sweet for our deck, and it's actually hilariously awesome with the fact that with those clue tokens, we can then take advantage of that. Invasion of Kaladesh here, one of the only battle that I think actually is pretty awesome for us. I like this battle and what it does. We could flip it later on to make it a vehicle, and then we can then utilize the ability of all of our artifacts to make it really strong and just dish out some damage to our opponent here. Scrolling that a little bit. We added in a Legion's Leadership here. It may not seem like it's that essential, but it's actually really awesome for our deck because, again, it can be a tap land, but also you can utilize it for its spell side to pump up maybe one of our Thopters and do some extra damage to finish off our opponents. We have Rip Apart here, just do a little bit of artifact and enchantment hate, and also it can do some extra damage in a pinch to a creature or planeswalker. PNLR, this is again where those exile spells come into play. I also absolutely love this card and what it does. So anytime we can play something from exile or cast a spell from exile, we have to basically create a 1/1 Thopter creature token. So really, really awesome for the deck. Arcane Signet, it's a staple. You got to have it for some film. Yeah. I'm sorry, everybody. Just tripping up my words here. Anyways, basically, Arcane Signet, you got to have it. It's essential for any commander deck, or at least Brawl for that matter. Collector's Vault here. Actually, I think this card is really underrated. I kind of treat this as, again, some card filtering here and can help us ramp a little bit later on. Ichor Wellspring here doesn't really do anything on its own aside from drawing one card, but we can also use it as a sack outlet later on. Mind Stone, again, just another mana rock we need just to help us ramp. Ornithopter of Paradise, it's a Thopter. It also helps us with ramping. Sword of the Meek here, that's a really, really little cute card here, and I absolutely love what this card does. Because we make a lot of 1/1 Thopters, it can easily come back from the graveyard, so you can use it as a sack outlet, or if you can just throw it onto another creature just to give it a little extra pump. Going into the 3-drop slot now here. Whew, we're almost done here, everybody. Hang in there with me. Any case, Tempered Steel here, super awesome for our deck. Gives all of our creatures a +2/+2 pump that are artifacts. Aviation Pilot here, ETBs with a Thopter token. Emery here can help us bring back any of those sacrificed artifacts to then utilize them for more additional value. Ethereum Shaper here, anytime we cast mana spells with 4 or greater, we have to create a Thopter token, which is really sweet for us and really awesome for our deck. Sai here, of course, creates more Thopter tokens when we cast artifact spells. Bastion of Remembrance here, since we are doing a lot of sacrificing for value, I threw this in here because I think this is actually pretty essential for the deck, and it's actually really awesome to help us stabilize in the mid to late game. Breya's Apprentice here, really awesome because, again, flavor option there. But also what's really sweet is you can then utilize this for a bit of impulse draw, and also you can then give another creature some pump, so really, really awesome for us. Crime Novelist here, we are doing a ton of sacrificing with artifacts, so being able to pump this little creature up and also adding some mana, really awesome for our deck. Kazul's Fury here, we could sacrifice one of our creatures by then throwing it at our opponent, maybe if they say have, oh, I don't know, maybe an All-Deck Glitters, or if they're pumped from Michigo's Reign of Truth. Really nice way to finish off our opponent if we have to need to in a pinch. Light Up the Stays for more impulse draw. PNLR here, we also definitely have to have it for the Thopter ability, and also can pump up another target artifact creature. We also can make something unblockable in a pinch as well. Chrome Courier here, another cute little Thopter here, can help us, of course, dig for some stuff, and also give us a little bit of extra life. Rush of Inspiration, I actually really, really like this card. We don't really take advantage of the actual energy because we don't have any energy in this deck, but it's actually a pretty cute little tap land that we can also use if we need to. Saheeli here, really, really awesome because even though it doesn't make Thopters, it creates servos for us. We can then sacrifice for value, or we can then utilize them also just to turn something else into it with its -2 ability. Chief of the Foundry here gives another pump ability to all of our artifact creatures, so it's essential for the deck. Foundry Inspector, again, same thing with Enthusiastic Mechanaut, cheapens all of our artifacts to make them easier to cast. Pilgrim's Eye here is also another Thopter, so again, helps us dig for a land if we need to. This is, again, where it's going to get a little janky, but again, hey, we need every Thopter we can, everybody, so Reconstructed Thopter here. It has Flying, it's a 2/1, nothing special to it, but also has Unearth if we need that in a pinch. Sky Scanner here, ETBs, helps us draw a card. Padim, Console of Innovation here, gives all of our artifacts hexproof, so then really makes them sweet because we can then protect our entire team, and also we can draw a card if we need to eventually later on. Warlord Rogue here, it is a little expensive, but again, it does create 2 Thopters for us, which is great for us to then utilize for its secondary ability if we need to. Mirkwood Bounce is not a Thopter, but we are making a ton of tokens, so I figured might as well use it to help out doing a little bit of burn, so I honestly threw it in there just because. Harry Dronesmith here, it only makes temporary Thopters because we have to sacrifice them at the beginning of our next end step, but we have a lot of sack options here, so I figured why not? Saheeli Filigree Master, also another sweet card that I actually am really high on, and I absolutely love this card, so of course we have to throw it into the deck for more Thopter production and also some card draw. Detective Satchel, ETBs, we investigate, make some clue tokens. We can then utilize those later on. We can also make some Thopters with it. We have also Gadget Technician here. Same thing. We don't really need the disguise ability, but if we do either way, it just gives us another Thopter for us. Hedron Archive here, again, Mana Rock, helps us draw some cards in the late game. Jorah's Familiar makes all of our historic spells cost 1 less to cast. We do have quite a few artifacts in the deck, and also we have a bit of sagas, so I thought, why not? We could throw it in there. And then our 1 and only 5-drop here is going to be Maverick Thopterist here. At ETBs, it creates some more Thopters for us, so really good for the deck. And then finally, we mostly have here flex spots here for our final big end top cards. So Dispose Deploy here, could tap a creature for tempo play, or we can make some Thopters and stabilize. Fuss and Bother here, another card that a lot of people kind of slept on, but it's actually really great for our deck because we're going to go super wide, put +1/+1 counters to all of our attacking creatures, or we can make some extra Thopters in a pinch with some Surveilling. Junkwinder here, another card that I'm also going to say right now is highly underrated, but in this deck it is hilariously awesome because with every token we make, we keep tapping down our opponent's non-land permanents, basically keeping the field clear, making it easy for us to swing in. And then finally, Spotted Thopter here. It is expensive at 8 mana, but usually we cast it for the prototype ability. Regardless of however you do play it though, that Scry ability is actually very powerful. Again, if we also get some pump on the battlefield, so that makes this card super duper awesome. Whew, okay, give me a second here to breathe, everyone. Whew. Okay, and then finally finishing it out with the lands. We're going to just try to make the mana base work with what we got. I know, again, we are a budget deck, so we just kind of skimmed a bit on the lands, but we are pretty good with what we got. So I don't know if this is going to work, but the ratio basically is 3 plains, 5 islands, 2 swamps, 5 mountains, and the rest are going to be a bunch of the bridges. So we have each of one of the dual-colored bridges. They are artifacts, so you can sacrifice them if you need to, and they also do count towards other abilities. We're also going to take advantage of the cool little cycle of cards here. These new little, I guess you could say they're the evolved version of Evolving Wilds, if you will. But basically, they're really sweet for us. They do tap for mana, but if we need to sacrifice them later on to create for us a bit of pseudo, well, not really ramp, but I mean like for color fixing for what we need. And you could cycle them if you need to later on. So you got the Contaminated Landscape, Seething Landscape, Scattered Landscape, Perilous Landscape, and then Arid Archway here, which actually I think is a really sweet card for us, mostly just because, again, this can bounce away maybe any one of our lands we need to then replay it later on. Maybe we can actually replay it as a spell. So you can bounce that Arid Archway in, bring back maybe Malachor Rebirth from its Mire ability, and then replay it for extra value. We also are going to use Buried Ruin here, sacrifice it, of course, just to bring back an artifact. Again, just helps us just recur some of our stuff. Command Tower here, essential. It's a staple. Darksteel Citadel, same thing. It is colorless, but it is an indestructible artifact land, so we can use that. Demolition Field here. Again, we need at least one form of land hate just to pay off maybe an artifact or, I'm sorry, an enemy enchantment. Wait, what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Basically, it's, again, land hate, everybody. That's all you need to know. Roadside Reliquary here. We do have some enchantments, and we do have plenty of artifacts, so we can use this for card draw in the late game. Same thing with Scene of the Crime here. We can also use it to draw a card, but ideally, you have this as another artifact land. So there you go, everybody. Whew. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I knew that was a lot from everyone to kind of take in here, but hear me out for a second here. I had to, of course, explain at least every card at least once. But the question we need to ask now is this super cheap artifact deck in the Arena capable of actually pulling off any wins in any way, shape, or form? Well, despite the testing I did, I still believe this deck on a budget can do some decent stuff. So I don't know about you, but again, I'm super hyped. So let's go ahead, let's end my rant here, and let's go ahead and let's start playing for today's event. So while we are doing all that, tell me again, how is everybody doing out there? How are you feeling right now with Modern Horizons 3? I know as of the posting of this, whether you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, Modern Horizons 3 has only been out officially on Arena for only a couple hours. So what are your initial thoughts on it? Would love to hear from all of you to see what exactly you're maybe brewing, maybe what you're coming up with. But in any case, okay, so we do have a decent amount of options here. So we can do some interaction. We can make some ramp here. We do have a Gior's Familiar for cheapening things, and we have an expressive iteration. I think this is actually not too shabby. So let's go ahead, let's keep this and see if we can make this work. So with that, what exactly is our opponent trying to do here? So they got Aragorn here. So they got their own 4-color commander. So this, again, is going to be a little bit of a scary card because of all the value it provides, but I think we can do just as well. We can hold our own with what we got. So with that, let's play. How do we do this here? I think we'll do Mountain first and strike it rich. Let's get our ramp on. So we're going to see if we can try to get Gior's Familiar out just so we can start making everything cheaper, and then we should be able to go from there. All right, Contaminated Landscape. So with that, we will play, let's see, do the bridge, and then we will pass. Thankfully, we don't need to use any of our interaction just yet, or card draw, so we're going to hold off. Flowering of the White Tree. All right. It's an option there. Contaminated Landscape. Play that. And then with this, we'll play Gior's Familiar. Right? Hoot hoot! Okay, so what do you got, opponents? Okay, Fey Burrow Elder. Okay, well, interesting choice. So with that, Perilous Landscape. We will, how do we do this here? Can't cast the Healy now, but we can Rip Apart. I think we'll get rid of that Flowering of the White Tree, so that's out of the way. Foundry Inspector. Go to 21. Okay. So, what exactly is our opponent going to try to do here? Okay, Aragorn's coming down. All right. So with that, how do we do this here? Okay. I think we're going to start cashing these in just a little bit. So until then, however, we will strike it rich, make an artifact, and then no attacks yet. Actually, maybe I should have attacked. Okay. It's okay, everybody. Again, we're still... This deck, again, was put together very quickly last night. So we didn't really have much time to kind of just make it work. But we're going to try. I think our opponent here is probably going to just blow up our artifact here. Yes, they are. Okay, it's fine, everybody. It's fine. So with that, we need to start getting our actual real sources of stuff out here. So get an island. We do lose, unfortunately, our Founder Inspector here, but that's okay. We still have a way of cheapening things with Giora, so it's not the worst. Not the worst at all. We're still fine. It's still early on, everybody. We have plenty of time. I definitely want to play this deck as much as I can. We may make tweaks later on, depending on how things go. Ragavon. Okay. Opponent's getting their value train going. A little scary, but that's okay, everybody. We'll take the damage for now. So we're down to 13. That does hurt, but it's okay. So... how do we do this here? How do we do this? Okay. We will play here. We will... how do we do... okay. Sigh. No attacks yet. Okay. If we can just get our artifacts going with Sigh, we should be fine here. Lagera, the magpie. Wait, is it... wait. Yeah, oh, Lagreya. Is it Lagrella? Well, I mean, again, for those who don't know, actually, being a Latin person, it's, what was it? What would it be called here? La Greya? I think that's, again, how I would say it. At least, that's how I believe it should be said. Okay. Any case, opponent here is definitely going off. I don't think we're going to win this one, everybody, but that's okay. That's fine. We still have a lot of time. We've just gotten barely started with this whole event. So, I'm just going to let our opponent do their thing, which kind of stinks here, but that's okay. It's okay. We still got plenty of time, as I mentioned, to just do our thing here. So with that... alright, opponent. They go swinging. Okay, well, I don't know if I can survive the hit, but I'm going to try. So, unfortunately, we have to block Aragorn here. Not my ideal. Down to 2. Okay, well. Alright. I don't think we're going to be able to do anything else here, but I'm going to try. Oh, bring in Breya. No real value at this point. We do make some tokens, which is actually... well, that's not the worst, but I mean, we can't really do anything else, so... alright. Alright, I guess we'll just concede this one. We'll just move on. It's okay, everybody, it's okay. We're still in the early part of playing. So let's go ahead, let's just have some fun still. We're going to continue on to the next match. We'll just see how well we can keep this deck going. Alright, try again. Again, we'll just get our 3 wins here, like we normally do. But since we are playing Brawl, we'll just pretty much stick to this deck. We might do some tweaks along the way. At the same time, maybe we might squeeze in 1 or 2 timeless matches just to see how things are shaping up for the format. I have heard a couple of things already where some people are dealing with some very disgusting options there. I know people are already trying to build things like Rakdos Scam. Some people are trying to play with some of the Flare options for free spells. But I'm still... it's going to be a while for us to kind of figure out, like, what is the best option. So let me know, again, what cards are you most excited to start building around, or what cards do you think are going to be great for the Timeless format in Arena? Maybe even Historic. I might do some Historic deck tech still, but I know most of the hype right now is around Timeless. So we'll see where things go in a bit. So in any case, going back to this, Tamiyo Field Researcher, so our opponent is playing Tamiyo. They're doing some land fixing here. Right, they got a Temple Garden. Kami. Yeah, alchemy cards. Okay. Oh, it's got the ramp going. That's fine. We will then play an island. Nice simple island. I think our only option is going to be Sword of the Meek. Okay. Opponent will probably swing here. Down to 24. Alright. Collector's Vaults. Not actually a bad option for us. That'll make things cheaper, which is great. Alright, put down another island. We will play How do we do this here? I guess we'll place the Healy. Even though if she takes damage, it's not the worst. We just want to see if we can start making some servos. This way we can get Junkwinder out ASAP. I think that's our best option here. Okay, another swamp. Wow, we're really just not getting any of our actual things here, so. Alright, what do we throw away? I think we'll throw away Sword of the Meek. Make a token there. How do we do this here? Oh, I think. Emery. Emery coming down. Do some milling. And we'll pass. Okay. So, looks like the game plan right now, we're going to try to see how we can pull this off here. Okay, so, mountain. Let's see, how do we do this? Okay, trying to think, everybody. Okay, so with that, I guess we'll bring down Junkwinder now. Our opponent really probably doesn't have an answer to that anyway, so. Is there anything we can play for free? No, not yet. Okay. Nothing yet. We'll pass. Okay. Whew. All right. What do you got, opponent? Oh, wow. They're a Bant deck and they couldn't ramp at all. Wow. I guess I wasn't expecting that win, but I guess I'll take it. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to the next match. That's cool. Totally fine. All right, so we got tickets. So I haven't had a chance to look at this hideaway thing, everybody. Has anybody actually taken the time to look at this? I read about it a little bit, but I don't think this is a good idea for Wizards here. They're picking out a really, really weird way to kind of just not give us another Mastery Pass, which they really should have just done and should have just cut the Thunder Junction one a little short. But at least from what I know, from what I read about this, let me know your thoughts on this. I might do a quick little video on this in the next couple days to kind of discuss this. I'm not fond of how they're trying to do this, but we'll discuss that later on. All right. That'll be another topic that we'll talk about in a bit. So we'll review it. We'll get our... All right, so we got some gems. That's fine. And we'll just continue playing. Okay. All right, so... All right. So, all right. Sorry, but I was just looking at something real quick. Okay. So with that, what do we have here? So we're going to be slow with lands, but that's totally fine. We can eventually build to what we need. So I think we'll still keep this hand. Our opponent is playing Galta, so oh dear. They're going to be playing some really big creatures, but they are mulliganing, which is actually not bad for us. That's actually in our favor. Although I'm going to laugh if our opponent just kind of scoops. Okay, so they did stick around, which is nice. So with that, we will tap land there. Stronghold. Okay, opponent, what do you got? Land. Nothing yet. That's fine. So with that, I think we'll play our bridge. Opponents. This actually might be a good match for us to kind of throw out Breya early if we can actually make her stick, because then we can start really taking advantage of some of her abilities. But we'll see. Junkwinder. That's cool. Collector's Vaults. Alright, and pass. So, what else is our opponent going to try to do here? Old Growth Troll. A little scary, but this is fine. So with that, we will play... How do we do this here? I think... Arcane Signet. We will then pass. Okay, so again, slowly but surely, everybody, we're going to start building things up. So I think what we'll do is we'll just start throwing stuff into the yard, make a couple of tokens to then make Junkwinder a little cheaper, and then we could throw him out, which is actually going to be not too shabby for us. Oh dear. Oh, one's got Outland Liberator. Joy. Most likely, okay. I figured they were going to get that, so we need to then... We'll just do this now. Draw a card. Throw away... What do we throw away here? I guess this Reconstructed Thopter. Outland Liberator gets killed. I was really thought they were going to try to flip it. But in any case. Bastard Remembrance. Well, that's not the worst. So with that, we'll make another token. This does make Junkwinder actually a little cheaper, which is kind of nice for us. And then... Okay. Wait on that one? I think we'll wait. Okay, so if we could just make a couple more tokens, we would be okay. We just need to hold off for a little bit longer here. Opponent's probably going to be swinging, which will not be a surprise to us. All right, no blocks because we need that token to survive. Down to 17. Ouch. Okay. Scavenging Ooze. That's going to be a little awkward for us, but that's okay, everybody. We still got ways of getting around things here. Shattered Landscape. So I think this is going to be the turn we're going to probably pull in Breya. So Breya now. Opponent. Opponent's going to eat our Thopter, which is not bad. That's fine. Make some tokens. Okay. Okay, so how do we do this here? We can also bring back an artifact to our hand, so that might be good too. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I have to think this through for a second here. No attacks yet. Okay. We can sacrifice our Thopters if we need to take out that Scavenging Ooze, if we really, really need to. Okay. Galta's coming down. A little... That is scary, but it's okay. No blocks yet. Okay. Whew. So with that, we'll sacrifice our landscape. These lands are actually pretty awesome. I actually really like what these lands can do. So this gives us a lot more leeway with what we need to find. So what do we get here? I think we need to get... We'll get a red source. Okay. Ornithopter of Paradise. Can't cast yet the Junk Winder, which is kind of awkward for us, but that's fine. Okay, pump up everything. Get some pump. No attacks yet. Galta is going to be frightening here for just a second, but we do have ways of kind of handling that. Actually, I realized maybe we should have played the All Declarators. Wow. I am off my game right now, everybody, but that's fine. Okay, well, our opponent here took out Breya, which is awkward, but we do get to get a little bit of life back from that. I don't think our opponent's going to do a full swing. They'll probably just swing with Galta. Yep. No surprise there. Oh, okay, so they are doing Old Growth Troll. Okay, so how do we get around this? Okay. I think we just need to survive the Old Growth Troll for one moment. So we'll take it out. Okay, opponent. We go down to 3. We take out their Old Growth Troll. We gain some life. We drain them for 3. Okay. Well, again, not the most glamorous, but it is helpful. Not too shabby considering we are also still a budget deck. I think this deck actually has only what? I'm trying to think right now. I think it's only 13 rares. That's not actually not too shabby, well, all things considered. Ornithopter of Paradise. And I guess we'll just do this now. To pick this Enthusiastic Mechanaut. So we'll give ourselves a little extra pump here. Makes it a 10-10. And I think the way we're going to get around this is... We're just going to have to hold off for a moment here. Galta is a little scary, but it's not the worst. So our opponent's going to start eating their creatures just to gain a little extra life and pump. But we just need to hold off against Galta for a second and we should be fine. Oh. You know what? I just don't know sometimes, everybody. I just don't know. Alright, well, I guess if that's how our opponent wants to play it. We lose. Wow. Wow. Really? Really? They really top deck? Okay. Sorry, everybody. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. It's fine. That wasn't what I was expecting at all, of course, but that was very frustrating. Okay. Moving on. We're going to be fine, everybody. We're going to keep playing. We just, again, are just trying to see how well can this deck do. So honestly, initial impressions are, it actually doesn't do too bad on mana. I was expecting it to actually be worse, but it actually finds its way around things. So I'm happy about that. Okay, so moving on. Can we get there with Breya and her Thopters? Well, this actually doesn't look too bad. I like this hand right here. It's a little slow, again, with a tap land, but with Retrofitter Foundry, we can start doing our thing. We can actually get off a 4-4 by turn 2 with what we got. Shadowborn Apostle. Oh. Opponent is trying to do something gimmicky here. That might be kind of cute, but we'll see how that goes. So with that, Island, Ornithopter, Retrofitter Foundry, and we pass. Okay. These are putting together some cute little construct tokens here, which is actually kind of nice. Okay, Shadowborn Apostle number 2. Who's going to try to do their thing. But do they swing? Or are they unaware of what we're trying to do here? Okay. Opponent does know. We sacrifice Orthopter here. Make a construct. We got Rip Apart, which is not too shabby too. We will swing now. We're going to put a little bit of pressure on our opponent here. So obviously they're not going to start blocking. I have no idea how many Shadowborn Apostles they have, though. We'll see. Schwamp. So, while they're putting their stuff down here, let me know again, everybody, what cards would you like to start seeing us build, or like what archetypes you want to see us kind of touch upon in Timeless with this new... Okay, wow, we're really not doing anything here. Okay, we'll pass the turn. So, again, like, let me know what would you like to see coming up with our upcoming deck techs. I, again, have a ton of ideas. I just need more time to kind of put them all together here. But we do have a lot of really cool ideas out there that I'm really hyped to do. But again, it's just going to take a lot of time only because there's so many rares that we need to craft that it's going to be a bit tricky. I'm having flashbacks right now to last week's stream because we dealt with this deck in some way and we didn't do too well. But we're going to see if we can try this time around to see if we can get around this. We'll make a Thopter, or actually a Servo. Alright. Block here, block here. Shadowborn Apostles go away. This does trigger Tabarax, which is annoying, but it's fine. They do drain themselves just a little bit. Another Shadowborn Apostle. Okay, we got a Plains. And we'll play Barbed Spike. Make a Thopter. No attacks. Alright, opponent. Can your gimmick pull off a win against us? I guess we'll find out here. Okay, so they still have 6 cards in hand. It's quite a bit. We need at least one more source. We need a red source. That's all we need. Block here. Sacrifice the Thopter to make another construct. All right. Pattern Matcher. Okay. That's fine. All right, another Shadowborn Apostle, of course. Coming down. Gleaming Gear Drake. Wow, we really are kind of awkward here with our mana base. So, alright. So make another token. No attacks. Okay, well, our deck this time, unfortunately, is kind of messing with us here, so we can't really do too much for a bit, which is... It's annoying, but it's fine. It's fine, everybody. We are still going to keep playing this deck, and I do want to get our wins in for the event, so we'll see how well our deck can still pull off some stuff here. They're going to hit us to 19. So they will be able to draw a card. They pay some life. They are draining themselves out here pretty quickly, though. All the Shadowborn Apostles. Goody goody gumdrops. Okay. So with that, Call of Death Dweller to bring in some more Shadowborn Apostles. Okay. Well, our deck is definitely not doing its thing this time, which is a little sad, but it's okay. Chrome Courier. Alright, digging for an option here. Okay, PNLR Aviation Pioneer. Okay, I guess we'll get the Pioneer. We don't have a red source, which is really kind of unfortunate for us. No attacks yet. Opponent's probably going to do their sack shenanigans right here. So you can see right now they're looking at it. Alright. Sack all of their Shadowborn Apostles. So Tabarax is doing its thing. 14. 13, 12, 11. All right, fine. Okay, okay. So the only way we're going to try to survive here is we need to start sacrificing Flying Thopters just in the hopes of just chump blocking for a little bit. That's the best thing we can do. Okay. Opponents. You can stop sacrifice non-being creature. If you do, create a token. Oh dear. Okay, well, we're definitely not going to survive this much longer, everybody. But we're going to try. We're going to try to get around if we can. Oh. All right. Well, never mind. I guess we're just going to cancel here. I know it's not, again, the most exciting thing, everybody. I do apologize, but we're going to try, and we'll just move on. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. All right, let's jump in, play some more of Breya's Thopters, and see how well she does. All right. Getting to our next match now. How are we feeling overall? What do you think is actually the best color right now for this set from Modern Horizons 3? Let me know in the comments below for that one too. I'm actually curious to know what you think is the best color combination, maybe the best solo color, or is colorless? Maybe colorless is actually the best. I don't know. I would love to hear from you guys. Personally, my opinion right now is I believe that right now I actually think blue and red are probably the best colors coming into this set. Black definitely got the scam cards, but I'll look at that in the future. I might try to put together, even if it is a little playing it dirty, we might look at least a couple of those, the evoke elementals, and see if we can put together a budget version of that deck in the timeless format. If you actually are, let me know if you would like to see that. But in any case, okay, so while their opponent is trying to think about what they want to do, what are they playing? They got Ojair. So it's a green deck. Okay, our opponent's back. All right, so with that, I think this is fine. It's a little slow. We don't have any way of building anything yet, but we do have ways of ramping, which is actually what we need primarily. So in the beginning, we're going to play Dross Forge Bridge, and we'll pass. Swiftfoot Boots. All right, opponent's got their protection on, which is fine. But in any case, let's see. How do we do this here? I guess we will play the island. Dowsing device. We're going to hopefully try to flip this. So that's what we want. So that's what we can get ramp a little bit more. Alright, another island. So with that, let's see here. Alright, another tap land. Sword of the Meek. So I guess the game right now is just building up everything. Resources versus their resources. We'll be able to flip this dowsing device very quickly here, which is not too shabby. Okay, so with that, what do we do now here? Okay, so thinking it out. Tempered Steel. Okay, opponent's making all their mana now, which is a little scary, but that's fine, everybody. It's fine, it's fine. We can still have time. So what do we need for Breya here? We have white, red, blue, black. Okay. So we can put down Breya next turn, which will be great. They go swinging here. Down to 14. Ouch. That hurts. It's okay. Got Elvish Mystic here. This has Ward 2, which is also annoying. Okay. So with that, play Breya now. She's a 6/6, which is not too shabby for us. Okay. Make some tokens. Ooh, okay. Well, this actually looks much better here. This is much better. Okay, so with that, we will also... How do we do this here? Okay. Disfault Bridge. We'll swing with our 2 Thopters here. Okay. That was not too bad to close the gap. That was pretty sweet. That was a good turn. But opponent, again, they got big creatures on their side. So we're going to see, can we pull this off? So next, we do have time for Maverick Thopterist, which can create some more tokens for us, which is great. The Great Henge. Oh boy, I sure love the Great Henge. It's actually a really good card. I love the card actually, but it's always scary when I have to face it. So we're going to see. They're going to be drawing a ton of cards. More Enclex. Also really scary. It's fine, everybody. We're going to hold our own as much as we can. Our biggest advantage right now is we do have flyers, which is great for us. I might actually put Sword of the Meek on top of Breya here as an option for protection. We'll see. Defense. Wait, what does that say? Defense of the Heart. Oh, okay, it's this card. Okay. Opponent is going to swing here. Down to 8. So they do get to do another hit here, which is annoying, but it's fine, everybody. We got Gwenna. Wow, We're just falling behind here pretty quick. But again, this is something you have to keep aware of, everybody. If you are playing with budget decks, this is just how it's going to be. There's not much we can really do, unfortunately, just because we just can't always keep up with this kind of stuff. But we will try as much as we can to see what we can do. How do we do this here? I think Maverick Thopterist. Okay, so improvise. Make some more tokens. And, okay, so how do we do this here? Okay. I think we'll hold off for a turn. And pass. Okay. So, with that. Man. Green really just goes out of control here. I honestly, I don't know how we're going to get through this, but we're going to try. We are going to try, everybody. We do have options with Breya here, so we can also do some minusing if we need to, just to kind of soften up our opponent. But we're going to see, can we pull off some victories here? And one of the weaknesses I realized with this deck is because we are also budget, we have no wraths at all. So maybe that's something I might want to do for the deck if I redo this deck, is maybe just to put in one wrath, just as kind of like as an emergency stop. Okay, opponents. Doing all the ramp. They got a lot of life back. Okay. Okay, they are triggering off all their stuff from Roaming Throne, which is also annoying. Okay. Spelunking. Alright, so is there any way out of this? I have no idea. We're going to try. We will try. Tribute to the World Tree. Opponent's basically got all the mana in the world right now, so at this point, I'm just going to have to sit back and I'll just take a little swig of me drinking some water and stuff here. But otherwise, alright. Opponent just wants to keep doing the thing. Okay. I realize we did not have a chance to squeeze in Swift Boots into this deck, but it's not exactly... This is not a deck that I intend on building with the intent of creating Breya to do her thing. Like, this deck is mostly designed to just use Breya as an extra piece here, but it's not essential to have her on the field. Alright. Well, opponents just... They just exploded here. Man, I just don't even know what to do about this. I don't know. Something to think about. Maybe we might try to do a non-budget one in the future, but we shall see what our opponent's going to try to do here. They're going to swing. Alright. Explore. Okay. Anything else, opponent? Oh dear. Okay. Well, is there anything else we can do here? Okay. So, how do we get rid of anything here? I guess we'll just get rid of the... We'll get rid of one creature. But man, our opponent just kind of went off here, and there's really not much we can do to respond. So, down to 7. So the best we're just going to do is we're going to just chump block for the time being. That's all we can do just to survive. So with that, we will block here. Unless you got something else, opponent. Please tell me you don't have anything else. I would like to at least survive a little bit longer here. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to concede again. Okay. We are not doing hot at all with this deck, and it really, really shows. Although we can build stuff up, man, just kind of hurts. Just no love for budget players out there. I kind of wish sometimes they actually did have a budget option for Arena, but it's fine. I mean, that's kind of the reason why I do these videos anyway. Despite the fact that they may not look like they're doing well, you have to understand that with budgets, you are going to have a lot bigger of a disadvantage versus other players out there, but that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it really does help to kind of just learn what the limitations are of your deck to slowly start building into something stronger. And again, for many of you out there who don't want to spend all your rares and mythics, that's the whole reason why we do these videos, is just to make sure that all of you out there have options if you really can't afford the higher end stuff out there, regardless of whatever you're playing. Okay, opponent is playing an alchemy card, which is absolutely disgusting, by the way. But in any case, they're going to be digging for something. All right, see the landscape. Okay, so with this, I think this time again, we'll just put down a tap land. We'll put down Invasion of Kaladesh. So that'll be our second option here. Okay, Mountain. Experimental Synthesizer. Exile a card. What did they get? Slaying Fire. Okay, that's fine. Opponent. They go swinging. Down to 24. We can at least get one win with this deck. I'll be perfectly happy. So we shall see. Mind Stone. Opponent's got 4 cards in hand. So maybe this might be the win, everyone. Maybe this will be the win we're looking for today. Either way, we still got to try to find a way to get around to finish off this event. Just so at least we can get our rares and stuff completed. All right, Mountain. Are they going to cash in the Synthesizer now? Maybe. They go swinging again. Down to 23. All right, opponent. Anytime now. Skew the critics. Down to 20. 3 cards left. Strike it rich. Play an island. Invasion of Kaladesh. This also gives us now an option now to then sacrifice Seething Landscape so we can get another land out that we need. Make a token. And we'll pass. Flame Blessed Bolt. Really? On the token? I mean, okay, that's fine, I guess. Okay, so 2 cards in hand, and they do have Annex still. They go swinging again, down to 19. Well, I mean, if nothing else, our opponent here is giving us a lot of time to kind of figure out a way out of this. So we will get here a swamp. Okay, well, we are slowly fixing what we need. If we can get a white source, actually, that'd be great. Okay, but until then, we'll just use this as our tapped source. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. 2 cards in hand, opponent. I don't know what else you have, but it shouldn't hurt us too badly here. We'll mill here 4. Okay, so with that, strike it rich. So we have now we have everything fixed. Okay, so, okay, what can we bring back? We can bring back Foundry Inspector. It's actually not too shabby for us. Hungry Flames. All right, maybe our opponents just straight up burn, which is totally fine with me. I do think that burn is the most Chad of colors out there in archetypes, but we're not playing burn today. We will maybe look at that in the future. Something to consider. All right. They swing again. Opponents. They got 1 more card. Okay, well, now our opponent is out of cards, which is actually nice for us. So that means now, hopefully we can now finally bounce back from this. Breya coming down. I think this is now the turn for her. And we will pass here. So, what we're going to have to do in order to get out of this, we got to keep their commander off the field. They will make a ton of tokens, which is actually fine for us. We don't mind the tokens, actually. We do have plenty of ways of kind of beefing ourselves up around the tokens. Take Surge. All right, well, that's a choice, opponent. So with that, I guess we're just going to have to sack our 2 things here. So with this, we will then sack, what do we sack here? So it's going to be 1, 2. Put her back in the command zone. Take out Annex. Okay. Their commander is also off the field, so we kind of did a little bit of a double there, which is fine. And then Ambergris coming down? Yes, it is. What do you swing with, opponent? Okay. They draw some cards. We will... Do we block? Okay, we'll just take the damage for now. Down to 10. Alright. Beat her takedown. Okay, well, that's not too shabby, I guess. So with that... Gleaming Gear Drake. Investigate. Put down the mountain. And then how do we do this here? I guess we'll play Reconstructed Thopter. And we'll go from there. Okay. Well, again, this is slow going, and it kind of took now a whole mono red deck just to kind of get us around this, but it is working. Okay, Kabira's takedown. What do we take out here? I guess we'll take out Ambergris. So their card draw is now gone. So it's now a 3-3. Okay, well that's not as scary. Cacophony Scamp. Oh, that's so cute. I like this cute little card. We're actually going to have a cute little short on this card on the weekend, so be sure to watch out for that. That's actually a pretty hilariously fun deck, especially if you're a fan of One Piece, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So, how do we stop this here? Okay, so I think blocking here. And then pop. Put a counter. I know that seems a little awkward to do, but we need to slowly slow the bleeding down. Ooh, okay. So this is now what we're talking about here. So with that, Bastard of Remembrance. Strike it rich. Make another token. Okay, it is tempting to flip Invasion of Kaladesh now, but we need to wait a little bit longer. So, actually, how do we do this here? Okay, so no attacks yet. We need to get Breya down. If we can get Breya down, then we are perfectly set to do this. But thankfully, Bastard of Remembrance will keep us alive. That's actually one of the best things about our deck right now. Okay, opponent. Opponent goes swinging. How do we stop this? Okay, so they have one card in hand. I swear, if this card right here is, say, Embercleave, I'm going to scream. Okay, but otherwise, so we will block, block, and block. At the very least, also, this means they will die, which is unfortunate, but we will get some life back, and that definitely slows down mono red decks. One of the biggest weaknesses that we all know is if we're mono red. So, Cacophony Scamp. They will make some tokens, but we will gain some life. Down to 9. Do you cast your Annex again, opponent? Oh, there we go. Yay! We finally got a win with this deck. Woo! Okay, so that was actually pretty nice. Even though it took a little bit of extra work on our end here, you can definitely see that the deck is actually versatile. You just need to plan things out a little bit here. It did take a little bit of a stumbling from our opponent here, but yay! I'm really happy about that one. We were able to finally get a win. Bastard of Remembrance. Don't underestimate that card. Really great option for a budget here, just to make sure we can stabilize. So we got a ticket, I guess. Take that claim. Okay. And then we'll get our third win, hopefully, on this one. We got some more gems, which is not too shabby. I'll take gems. We'll play. Okay. Maybe also if we have time, I might consider doing a draft. I don't really draft all that often, but I really do need to use up some of the tokens I have for draft. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. I'm not sure. Depending on, again, looking at the clock right now, we're about to hit the halfway point of the stream. I forgot to mention, for some of you that are newer to my streams, I don't stream nearly as often as other people out there. So usually my streams are barely over 2 hours. And it's not that I don't want to stream longer, but also I do have a big boy job, which I will get ready for after this stream. So keep that in mind. But don't worry. If you guys do want to see other content from me, again, for those of you who haven't seen it, please be sure to check out my YouTube channel. That's actually where we're going to do the meat of everything here. If you do want to keep up with me and all my fancy, sometimes spicy opinions, you can follow me, of course, on X. Actually, I probably should change that logo, even if we all know it's Twitter. But you all get what I mean by that. If you want to see any of my other stuff I promote, it's usually on Instagram. And, of course, streaming, of course, is here on Twitch and YouTube. But either way, wherever you watch me, I do appreciate the support you all give me. So thank you once again, everybody. Even if sometimes we don't always look like we're the best player because of how we play our decks. But keep in mind, budget decks are what they are. Moving on, of course, we do have our match here. So we will play Buried Ruin. Yotia declares war. Part 1. Make a Ornithopter. Okay, so with that, Sulfur Spires. Alright. No pinging yet. Okay. They will do their thing. I forgot about this card. I don't really see it too often here, but okay. If you haven't seen this card, it's actually a really interesting card. It's kind of cool, but mostly the mythics, like in this set, got overshadowed by the One Ring. That's probably why nobody really sees it. Okay. We'll lose life. Nothing for us, which is fine. Alright, nothing submit. And then, how do we do this here? Okay, so, Demolition Field. I think... How do we do this here? Okay, Pianalar. Okay, another Thopter. No attacks. Okay, slowly building up the army here of things. That's what we're trying to do. Wishclaw Talisman. Do they pay? They do not. Okay, well, I mean, that's a choice. Okay, they're going to play their Talisman, so they're going to try to do some shenanigans here against us, try to mess with us a bit, but it all depends, I guess, on what our opponent's doing. I don't want them... I would rather lose life than kind of get hit with card loss, so keep that in mind. Opponent is still thinking. All right, opponent. Anytime now. Anytime, opponent. I mean, at this point, I might as well just take another swig. Like, I drink water, of course, on the side. Maybe a little bit of juice every so often, but kind of just have my stuff over here on the side. So, our opponent is doing their thing here. I will lose some life. Down to 21. Ouch. But okay. It's fine. So with that, how do we do this here? I guess we'll just pump up this Thopter. We will then play this tapped. Ward. Okay. Go swinging here. Down to 18. Okay, so we flip this up, and then we will get a Thopter from that. Oh, actually, I realized I should have used the Wishclaw Talisman. Oops. I totally messed that up. Hopefully that won't hurt any. Right? Right? Okay. Fable Passage. Okay, so I wish I should have done this for ramp. That's actually what I should have done, actually. I'm really I'm kind of dumb on that, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm not the best player in the world. I'm just a budget player. Because I'm broke. Okay, we will make them dump some cards down to 17. That's actually not the worst. So, with that, we'll activate it now. And then what do we get from this? I guess the Healy might be the best option for us here. And then she can draw some cards for us. Alright, down to 13 for our opponent here. Light up the stage. Okay. Not too shabby there. That was pretty nice. And then with that, Reckless Impulse. Again. Okay, not too shabby. That was actually pretty nice. So, with Saheeli here, we should be able to then hopefully close this out very quickly here. But again, it depends on what our opponent is also trying to do. So, while we're trying to figure out our game plan here, again, I don't know if our opponent's going to be able to pull off a win here. I think it could be anyone's match right now. But I do believe that we can still pull off a match here. But anyway, for those of you who are joining us, welcome. We are still playing in the Midweek Magic event. And mostly what we're trying to do here is, again, we're going to see, can we put together a couple of wins with Breya here, one of my favorite commanders, on a budget in Arena. What we're going to see right here. Can we do that? Until then, Future Goblin. Okay, I see what our opponent's trying to do here. All right. Well, let's see. Can they pull off their combo here? Do they have all their pieces now? Wait, do they have all their pieces? They need, like, some way to burn us out. That's all they need. Torch the tower. Well, that stinks. Hold on. This turn. Oh, okay. Ouch. Okay. All right, so, same thing. We will lose life. We're down to 16. Okay, our opponent is trying to get a little greedy with that, but it is working in our favor. So this has actually been pretty nice for us so far. So until then, how do we do this here? I think Jora's Familiar. That cheapens everything. Enthusiastic Mechanaut. And then with that, swing with 1. Down to 12. Okay. It is tempting to get another thing with a Wishclaw Talisman, but I don't want our opponent to take that right now. So we're going to wait for a moment here, I realize. That's actually maybe a best option for us. And then with that, Saheeli, Junk Wider can come down. And then we also have... I forgot we also have Fuss and Bother here. This is actually might be our way of finishing off our opponent. Okay. Dragon Spark Reactor is getting a little big there. The Palantir, this might make or break us in the next turn or two. It really depends on what exactly is our opponent trying to do here. However, we've actually been pretty fortunate where it hasn't been hurting us that much. Okay, Leyline of Lightning still pings off. Okay, persist. 15. All right. Ouch. That hurt. Not by much, though, but it did slow our opponent down a bit. Okay. Now it's at 5. We're getting a little risky here, everybody, but I don't want our opponent to draw cards. If they don't draw cards... Okay, down to 10. Okay, that wasn't the worst. Okay, so with that, how do we get out of this? Okay, so let's see. How much do we do here? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, hold on, here's 7, 8. Okay. Can we win here? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. How do we do this here? I think we got this. Do we have this? Maybe? Persist. Okay. Doing their thing here. Okay, opponent. Wait, do they have a combo here? They have 2 mana. Okay, so we're going to tick down.
I'm a tough opponent. Win or lose, it'll be a thrilling fight.
Okay, what do you got, opponent? Clock is ticking now. Okay, so with that...
Dive like hawks.
Go full control, just in case, because they got 1 more card in hand. Oh, dear. Okay. Let's see. We will pay. Oh, I'm dumb. No, why did I do that? I forgot I was supposed to attack first. Oh my goodness. Wow, I am super stupid there, everybody. Wow. I cannot believe I just did that. I cannot believe I just did that. I literally I fumbled there so hard, everybody. That should have been lethal. Wow. I can't believe I just did that. I punted so hard there. Oh my gosh, why did I do that? Oh my goodness, I forgot this was supposed to be an attacking trigger. Wow. 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 Okay, I literally just threw away the match, everybody. I can't believe I just did that. I really should pay attention to what I'm doing more often. Wow. Hopefully nobody clips that later on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. It's fine, everybody. It's fine. I'm just going to move around that. I will realize I will take the L on that one for sure. I will definitely take the L on that. Wow. Okay. So our opponent here doing their shenanigans. Okay. Wow. I can't believe I just did that. I'm a little in disbelief there. Okay. Oh, hey, Hex Mate. Hey, Hex MTG. How you doing? Hopefully, again, you're enjoying the stream. Did you just see me do that really bad punt I just did? Wow, I can't believe I just did that. But anyways, yeah, so I literally could have won right there, but I forgot that this is actually meant for an attack. Okay. Our opponent here is now going to try to burn us out. But they can't really do anything with the Inquisition of Kozilek because there's something they can throw away. Okay. Well, they're all, at this point... Okay, so... I can't risk anything at this point, so our opponent's going to be able to draw a card. Oh, okay, I think we still won. Okay, wow. I had no business winning that match at all. I punted there so hard, but despite the fact we still, we still got a win, I had honestly no business winning that. I should have lost that one. I should have because I was just being really careless. But hey, I'll take that win. Yay. Oh. Thank you for the compliment on one. The deck is cool. Yay! I appreciate your compliment there. It's a little because I know it can be a lot more stronger, obviously, if we go non-budget, but that's not the point of of us. We, of course, have to play on a budget, so thanks for that. I actually am really happy with the deck, so honestly, it's actually not as bad as I was expecting it to be with our limitations, so yay. Thanks for that. So we got our 3 wins in, everybody. Thankfully, despite my punt and despite some weird pass-offs there, we somehow managed to get a win, so yay. I'm only watching because it's budget. Oh, yes. So yay, thank you on that one, Hex. I do appreciate that there are people out there like you that appreciate me putting together super budget decks for those of you out there, because again, as I mentioned earlier, man, there are some decks that I would love to put together and start building and making videos of. But as I mentioned earlier, again, there's so many decks. You know what? I'll be nice. I'm going to show you a quick little sneak peek of what we're trying to do here. So the Marvel deck right here, if you haven't seen it already, it's the Aetherworks Marvel combo. However, we did get a lot of super awesome, really sweet pieces from the set, but as you can see, it's a little high on the mythics, so oh man, it's going to be a while before I get some extra mythics. Actually, I burned up a bunch of them already just putting together the past 2 decks that we already are going to set up for our future videos, so just FYI. But I do want to play our deck a little bit longer here because I'm actually really, really hyped and happy with how it's turning out. So you know what? Let's go see. Can we get some more wins with our Thopters? I am really happy to see the deck actually pull off a couple wins, even if I am not exactly playing at the most optimal. But again, we're doing not too shabby what we got, so I'm really happy. Okay, so moving on, trying to now cleanse my palate. Oh, okay, Satoru. Hey, he looks a little familiar. We actually did a Satoru deck on stream about a month ago, so I think that's still up on Twitch. But if it's gone on Twitch, you could, anybody that's watching this now on the replay, you can check out our version of Satoru on a budget. That's actually right now up as a replay on YouTube. So check that out if you actually want to see a cheap version of also ninjas. But in any case, going back to our deck here, let's see, what do we got? So can't really do too much with this. So I think we're going to mulligan. All right, so a little slow still, but this is workable. We can make this work. Okay, so in any case, whew, I still am a little surprised at our win for the last game, but I will be happy to take it. I can't complain. I will definitely be a bit more careful. Maybe not. I know how I am. I'm not the most careful Magic player, but hey, you know what? I have fun still. That's what's the important part, is we are having fun. All right, moving on to this. What is our... Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, we're playing Satoru. So with that, Collector's Vault coming down. This will help us do some ramping. Rogue class. Okay, so with that, Shelter. How do we do this here? I think we don't need to do ramping just yet. So Hangerback Walker's coming in. Maybe if we do have a little extra mana, we can start pumping up Hangerback Walkers so we can then make some extra Thopters. That might be helpful for us. Satoru the Infiltrator coming down. All right, opponent, what do you got? Kaya's Ghost Farm on it, which is going to be very annoying to deal with, but that's fine. So with that, let's start doing some digging. We will throw away Reconstructed Thopter, so we can bring that back later on. How do we do this here? I guess we'll put down Soul Guide Lantern. Oh, I forgot that actually hit our graveyard. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. I did another little punt there, everybody. Don't worry. I know how to play Magic, everybody. I know how to play. Even if it doesn't look like I always do. Alright, so, Spell Dancer. Opponent will get a free hit here. So they dig. Okay. Annoying. Perilous Landscape. We will play Aviation Pioneer. Make a Thopter. Go looting. Draw a card. Okay, so with that... what do we get rid of here? I think the Bastard Members actually might be better for us to keep. So with that, Spotter Thopter, I guess? Ornithopter. No attacks yet. If we have to do this in a pinch, we can also start putting more counters on Hangerback Walker with our extra treasures, and maybe we can then just kind of go wide from there. Okay, opponent is swinging here. Wait, hold on. Oh, this can't be blocked. Okay, well, that's awkward. Okay. I guess no blocks yet.
How are you all overall feeling with the deck that we were playing? Like, do you guys like what you're seeing? Do you think we should maybe can give it a little bit more extra juice? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about what you think about this deck. Hex MTG. What constitutes budget in your decks? Is it 0 rares or minimal rares? Oh, that's a good question. So, I've kind of put on myself after some playing back and forth to see, you know, what would I think would be best. And for me, I've learned that a decent balance usually means around, if we're talking like standard, I could probably get away with anywhere between 10 to 12 rares. Usually we average for Explorer and Historic around 12 to maybe 12, 13, maybe 14 tops, depending on what kind of deck. There are some decks I usually try to average about no more than 12 rares. That's usually, if you think about that, that's like what? 3 play sets of essential cards, and then mostly everything else is just commons and uncommons. The less rares and mythics I can pull off, the easier the more challenging it is. And it is challenging, but it actually makes for some more satisfying things if we can pull off some wins with it. Okay, our opponent here is probably waiting on us. So, Rustfield Bridge. And then sacrifice Perilous Landscape now. And then from that, we get, I guess we get an island. And then from here, nothing yet. But in terms of Timeless, Timeless is obviously a much more stronger format. So I usually do for there, maybe I usually will average there about a 14 rares. The most I've done for any deck, I believe, was 16 rares for one deck in Timeless. But that's, again, a higher powered format. So I try not to do it that high. But I usually try to stay around average between 12 and at most 14. Brawl's also a little bit funky because I don't have a specific number because it's a 100-card singleton. That's where things are a little trickier to kind of evaluate here. I believe today's deck, I think we're running about 13 or 14 rares in this super budget, but the less rares I can get rid of, the better for players out there, because I understand a lot of you out there know that, you know, when decks are costing you like minimum, like for a meta deck, like 20, 25 rares, and the rest is like 30, 40. If you're playing elves, it's like 50 rares. That's actually honestly a ridiculous amount for a lot of players, and I can understand that that's a little much for some people out there. So that's kind of how I see it, is the less I can get, the less rares I can have, the more interesting I can make a deck. Because sometimes, even with restrictions, you can breed some really cool creativity if you really, really take the time to think about, you know, what works best for you. All right, so Breya is going to come down now. We'll make our tokens. And then from there, we can then... Okay, so with that, we can gain life if we need to. Okay, so how do we do this here? Okay. We'll wait. No attacks yet. With Breya on the field, at least, now we have some options, at least, to kind of start sacrificing things that we need to. Okay, so this can still go our way. We just need to kind of, hopefully our opponent won't have anything too crazy for us. We'll see. Okay, so they're playing Life to Shiro Umezawa. Are they going to -1/-1? Okay, they are. So they are going to minus. All right. So, do we do this now, I guess? I suppose so. How do we do this? Okay. I guess I'll just let that go. Okay. I honestly didn't want the token to get sacked. But I need to make sure they swing first with Satoru before we do anything else. Okay. So with that, it can't be blocked, which is very annoying. Down to 11. Okay. They're going to dig again, which is annoying, but it's fine. Okay. Hex also asking. Yeah, that makes total sense. I also think some rares go in so many decks that might, I think they're totally acceptable to run to some lands. Yes. I actually am going to start looking at building a couple of tutorial videos to help out some of the newer players out there. Some of you who are also budget like I am, to kind of help you. I did put a poll like a couple weeks ago when I was asking some of you, like, what would you be interested in seeing as additional topics besides my deck techs? I love doing deck techs because there's so many decks you can build out there. But I know some of you out there would like a little bit of help when it comes to things like sideboarding and things like What lands should you craft? Oh man, we got Reckless Fireweaver. Oh, I don't want to get rid of him, but we're gonna have to right here. Because I want to keep that Deadly Dispute. That's gonna help us to get a little bit more action going. So we'll pay. Put another counter on it. Give it a 3. Okay. Kazul's Fury. Okay. Well, we'll do this now. We'll draw a card. We'll throw away Kazul's Fury. And then we can then play Deadly Dispute. Alright, opponents. Still building on the board, everybody. Okay. But yes, so when it comes to crafting rare lands, one of the things I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to see if we can just focus on... Okay, actually we can do this now, so this is actually kind of nice. Sack that Thopter. Draw some cards. Draw 2 cards. So, again, one of the cool things that I'm hoping I'm going to try to do is we can try to see if I can put together for everybody out there a simple guide for those of you that play Arena like I do. So that way you can also figure out, what lands should you craft. Actually, that was the first video I put on YouTube way back when we did this channel, was to ask what lands should you craft. Put another counter on Hangerback Walker. And then we will trigger here. Sacrificing Hangerback Walker, and I guess we'll get rid of Soul Guide Lantern. Or actually, you know what? Maybe we can get rid of this other Thopter token. Okay. Okay, so we'll make some Thopters here. Okay. Hopefully this works out. But yes, so I'm planning on doing, hopefully this summer, I can't say when, but when I have time, I'm going to put together a land thing that's kind of an updated version of one of my first videos. So what rare lands should you craft for Arena? Just to give you, again, the best rares to work with, but at the same time, get you the most value out of your lands. There are tons of lands now that we've gotten to a point where it's kind of tricky to kind of figure out, like, what are your best lands? Because some people, for certain decks, Surveil lands are great. For some decks out there, Pathway lands, because you want to be super aggro, but also flexible. Mostly, again, yeah, Shock lands are going to be the go-to, but they also have their own downsides. But it really depends also. And another thing that has to keep in mind is what format are you playing? So we will discuss all of that in a future video coming up soon that I'm hopefully going to have a chance to put together that will kind of help you shape exactly what you should be looking at. And again, I'm going to try to build it where in a way is we're going to assume that all of you out there are hoping to just put together something that's going to be very beneficial for anybody out there with Arena, especially because Arena economy is just ridiculously different than Paper. So yes, you can get away with rare lands that are super budget in Paper, but in Arena, it costs you a rare, and it doesn't matter if it's like a reveal land or if it's a shock land or if it's a fetch land. So that's what makes this environment very unique. Oh, yes, I definitely do agree. So I'm going to try to do that. If you actually all want to look up my original video, I'm pretty bad at that one. It's me, of course, with my first video. So I was very awkward and I had no idea what the heck I was doing when I made the video. But I'm going to look at that old video and I'm going to try to remix it to make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more enjoyable for everybody out there. So be sure to keep your eyes on that. It is going to be coming very soon. Okay, so Sky Scanner, drawing a card. Enthusiastic Mechanaut. Put down Plains. Okay, so now we at least are in a position where I can now start sacrificing more Thopters here to then push through damage, or at least kind of just clean up the board against our opponent here. That's mostly what we're going to try to do. So we just need at least a win con here. If I can go super wide here for a moment. Let's see. I know I'm not really doing much in terms of things here, but you are seeing one of the biggest advantages of this deck is you can start building up things pretty decently here and just start grinding out your opponent. Our opponent, of course, however, does have a major advantage versus us. So they will bounce away down to 21. Okay, so game plan right now is with Breya, we can sacrifice some of our Thopters here. Whatever they ninjutsu in is mostly what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to slow them down now. But there is I don't even know. There's dozens of rare lands now in Arena to the point where it is essential for us to update the guide that I originally made back in 2020. Yeah, I know, 2020. Ugh, what a horrible year. But you all know. Either way, we will definitely try to get that going. So hang in there, everybody. I will definitely start helping out a lot of you with some more new stuff coming soon. Okay, they're going to equip. Should we do this here? I guess we're going to have to do it now. So we will then sacrifice our 2 tapped Thopters and then get rid of their commander. Unless they have protection, because Kaya will bring it back regardless. I understand that. But at the very least, that nerfs it. So they draw a card. They waste 2 mana for the equip ability. They can equip again if they need to. I understand that. Okay. So 4/5. It still has menace, which is annoying, but we do at least have ways of blocking now, finally. Okay, so they don't swing. So that's good for us. So we will draw a card. Okay, Barb Spike's not bad. So with that, let's see. Actually, we'll throw away the land. Because we're making a land. Barb Spike. We just need a way to actually build Thopters now. That's actually what we need to start doing our thing here. So we're going to Thopter X. Kind of cute about this card at least is it does give Breya some protection, so we at least can keep her on the field a lot longer this time around, which is nice. Cryptic Coat coming back. I greatly underestimated what this card can do. I thought this card was too expensive to utilize at all, but it actually is a lot better than I thought. Might be looking at this card again for something else in the future, just for maybe some shenanigans, but we'll see about that. Any case, this is actually definitely our longest match we've had so far this stream, but it actually shows that the deck, despite how janky it may seem being super cheap, you can admit that if nothing else, this deck actually can do some grinding. It's actually much more impressive than most people may realize. So, I am pretty happy about that so far. Okay, Scene of the Crime. It's tapped, but it is an artifact, so we can actually sack this if we need to. We'll probably draw a card later on. Swing with the Goldforge Thopteryx. They still have a lot of cards in hand, though, so I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know if they're waiting for one big, splashy swing, but at least we're holding our own. If nothing else, this deck can definitely hold its own with the grind. So I'm actually pretty satisfied with the deck. Even if we do lose this match, I'm not mad. I'm actually pretty satisfied with it. So, all right, Breya's going to use her ability again. Satoru. All right, so how do we do this here? So I think we will sacrifice 2 more Thopters. Make it -4/-4. Unless our opponent's got another shenanigan up their sleeve. Opponents? I know you have something in hand. You have so many cards. Okay. Okay. Well, it's a 0/1 now, so we don't have to worry about damage. But we will block here and block here. Unfortunately, this is unblockable, which is annoying, but it's okay. It's okay, everybody. It has Ward too, so maybe next turn I might have to try to pull off some shenanigans with that. Okay, so they got their Jitsu going. But the good news about our deck is we can still actually snipe it. So here's how we do this. Okay. Indestructible is not going to work, opponent. They do know that minusing doesn't actually do anything, so. Okay, so unless they got something else going on. Wow, they did Jitsu again. Okay. All right, they draw a card. Indestructible still on the stack. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Okay. Okay. They draw another card. So they have 1, 2 right now. 3, 4, 5 mana. Do we do it, everybody? Do we try to see if we can then forcefully keep them from doing their thing here? I honestly don't know what's the best option here. Okay. Okay. This is actually tricky. I know they can ninjutsu again. So, we'll just take the damage. Down to 7. On 8. Okay. Well, that cryptic code is actually doing a lot more against us than I thought. And we are starting to lose a good chunk of cards here. But, thinking it over, it's definitely not the easiest thing. Okay, wait. Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. Wow. So, I forgot. Okay, so they have protection from a variety of things. A little bit more than I thought. Okay. Visible Stalker. Okay. Tetsuo Umezawa. Okay. That's a choice too. Okay. So, I mean, we have enough mana now where I think I'm going to start just trying to see if we can keep digging for answers here. That's what we need at this point. So we'll throw away Enthusiast Mechanaut. Make another treasure. Okay, so how do we get out of this? So I think we will then sacrifice 2 tokens there. -4 on the Tetsuo Umezawa. I can't have that just start making everything that's weaker survive. That's mostly what it comes down to. Okay. Well, again, the deck is still holding its own here. We're not exactly making any progress, but we are definitely holding our own. Which I'm actually really surprised with how this deck is working. So that's actually been pretty nice for us. Scene of the crime. We need to draw another card. Ooh, okay. Now we're talking. There we go, everybody. That's what we needed. So they're pretty much tapped out at this point. So actually, this does work in our favor. Okay. Do we pay the 4? We decline. Island. This helps us get back in the fight. Okay. There we go. Woo! Okay. So that's much better. Big swing there. 9-20. Okay. So we're still in this fight, everybody. Yeah. Much better. I actually was really thought, wow, we topped that at the right moments. So that was actually not too shabby. Oh, wow. Opponent's doing the desperation swing time. My goodness. Okay. Well, I mean, if that's what our opponent wants to do, go for the throat. I mean, that's fine, I guess. We can't block. Yes, I do agree. The deck is actually a little more resilient than I thought, which has actually been pretty nice for us. So, how do we just block here? Is there anything we need to block? Wait, how much damage is this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow. Okay, so it is extremely close right here. It is extremely close. But maybe we might be able to get there. Let's see. Is our opponent going to try to do some ninjutsu shenanigans here? They do. Okay. Can we survive the hit? That's going to be the biggest question right here is, can we pull this off? Right here, right now. It's either we win or we lose here. That's really what it is. Miss Cinda Naga. Okay, but its ability only triggers after it does the combat damage, so that's not something to worry about for us. Okay, so hold on a second. So they got 2 mana left. Where are they going to ninjutsu again? Okay, we have to really think about this hard for a moment, everybody. Okay. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, that is exactsies with our opponent here. Okay, so here's how we do this. Okay, we have to do this carefully here. We will pay And then sacrifice 2 artifacts. Okay, so this is going to be where it's going to get a little bad for us, but it's what we have to do. So, Sky Scanner, gone. -4, -4. If they ninjutsu again, that's going to suck, but... Okay, so they do it again. Okay, so... Is there anything else we get rid of right now? So, Okay, we still need to get rid of something here. So we still have to... Let's see. Oh! This hurts a lot, but... Oh, wait. Sacrifice the bridge. Okay. Get rid of 1. Down to 3. They're still at 9. Wow, it took everything we did there just to get out of that. Ouch. Well, at the very least, I was really shocked we actually survived that hit. I was not expecting us to survive the hit there. They got a ton of cards. They do have Miss Syndicate Naga. Maybe we should have blocked that, or at least should have gotten rid of that instead. Okay, well, I mean, our next card here either way makes or breaks us. It doesn't matter what it is. But we are going to see Futurist Operative. Okay. I don't think we're going to win here. But hey, we put up actually a pretty good fight, all things considered. So I will take that, if nothing else. So I'm actually really happy with that. Also, I forgot to mention, as always, for those of you who also are new to these, just keep in mind, as always, if you are interested, once we are done getting close to the end of the stream, which is coming up soon, because, again, I do have a big boy job, so I'm going to have to actually get ready for that. But until then, keep in mind that this will be available for you to watch on a replay. This will be on Twitch for a while, but a permanent copy will, of course, be up on YouTube, so be sure to check that out if at any point you want to see anything, you want to replay anything that we've done. But also, we'll do, as always, a breakdown of the little analysis of this deck, how well it did, what should we do, what should we consider for upgrades, if you are interested in that at the very end of the video. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up there. We'll give you a little sneak peek for those of you who have stuck around this long into the stream, and I really do appreciate those of you who have. You are my true fiery friends if you have stuck around this long, and you'll get a chance to see what we're planning for the next couple of videos coming down the line. As always, anytime I'm trying to stream, it's usually going to be either a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I've looked ahead at my schedule, and thankfully, we do have a window to stream next week, so we're going to try to pull that off in a little bit. But otherwise... So, let's see. How do we do this here? Okay, so... We'll swing here. At this point, there's no point in holding back, so we'll just do it. Wow, our opponent didn't even bother blocking there? Yes, I'll take the win. Woo, okay, yay. I honestly thought our opponent was going to block there, but okay. I will take that win. I'm super happy about that one. We had no business winning that one, but as always, I will take it. A win is a win, so... Thank you, opponents. Oh, man. This deck is actually really cool. Actually, I'm really liking it. Maybe I might redo my vehicles deck that I have for Breya for an actual Thopter deck. My actual paper one, I mean. So, yep. GG's indeed. I'll take it. A win is a win. So, with that, let's go ahead. Let's continue. We'll play a little bit more. Depending on how the match goes, I think we have enough time for maybe 1 or 2 more matches. And then that means we're going to do a wrap-up. I'm looking at the clock right now of our stream, and again, I only stream for a couple of hours because that's all I can afford because I've got other things I have to do, but I am happy to do these streams when I can, so anytime I'm capable of doing a stream, I will definitely do one. But as I mentioned earlier, we are looking next week at streaming at the same time again, same day, so hopefully we'll be able to pull that off next week on Tuesday for another fun Midweek Magic. I know the schedule for Midweek Magic is coming up where it's going to be one of my favorite events, which is Historic Artisan. So that's, again, the event where it's only commons and uncommons. And as always, that means that is perfectly within our wheelhouse. So be sure to check out something fun for that. Even if we can't do a stream, I assure you I will still try to at least get up a mini deck tech for a Midweek Magic event, so that way you can throw something together for those of you who do like watching that kind of stuff. And then we can still put together something fun down the line. But okay, the opponent is all in on +1/+1 counters. Okay, it's going to be Bristly Bill, everybody. We'll see. Is that going to be something that we need to worry about? In case, Reckless Fire Weaver coming down. So, let's see. How do we do this here? I think the way we'll do this is... Okay, Foundry Inspector is actually not too shabby, too. So with that, we will play Aviation Pioneer. Make a token. And let the burn begin. Okay. Wait, I forgot. We can't really swing. He can block us. That's fine. Okay. So it looks like the game plan right now is we're just going to start putting down a bunch of artifacts, and maybe we can get through their landfall shenanigans by just putting down a bunch of tokens. If he doesn't have trample, we could definitely block for a little bit. Okay, enter the unknown. There's the bill. More shenanigans there. Ouch. That's really big, really scary. Okay. It's fine, everyone. We still have time. It's not too late. Wow. Our opponent's still going off here. Okay. Make a food token. Swinging, of course. Aviation Pioneer is going to go bye-bye. We don't want to take it that big of a hit just yet. So. Razor Tide Bridge. Ping for 1. We will play Foundry Inspector. Make another ping. Swing with the Fire Weaver. For this strategy, it looks like we don't need to worry about keeping all of our tokens alive, so we'll have to sacrifice a couple of them just to force through some extra damage. Tireless Provisioner. Oh man, if only we had green. That would be such a sweet card for us for this deck, but it's fine. I'm happy with how Breya turned out. We actually not looking too shabby here. She is going to get pumped up very quickly, which is scary, but that's okay. Actually, we'll take the hit on this one. Down to 15 already. So, 2.5 turns. That's all we got. That's all we're going to get. But we will try. So. Okay. So with that. Pilgrim's Eye. So we will be able to search for a basic land that we're going to need. Do another ping. We'll take the action, of course. And for this, we'll get a swamp. So for Mirkwood Bats, ping again, down to 20, and we don't really have a play right now, so I guess we'll just do this here. Let's see, what do we get? I guess we'll just get a mountain. So, no attacks yet. Okay, so they're going to gain some life to buffer themselves up, but it's totally fine. Okay, so with that, okay. We only have a couple turns we can block, unless we can start making go-wide tokens very quickly, but we're going to try. We will definitely try to see if we can make this work. Looks like our opponent right now is just going super tall. But as long as we can keep making chump blockers, that's not too bad for us. Oh man, if I can just get Mirkwood Bats down, that actually is our really sweet piece there. Nature's Will. Okay. That's a scary card. Very scary card. But we can get around this. I think if we can find... Because our deck, one of our biggest weaknesses, since we're relying so much on our tokens, we don't actually have any hard removal for the deck. I understand that. I know that's a little bad, per se. But we'll block one hit here. Down to 4. Ouch. They tap all of our lands, which is absolutely disgusting. This is why I don't like green. But it's fine, because we're going to untap next turn anyway. So that didn't really hurt us all that much. Titania. Okay, got another mountain. So, we have 6. Breya, coming in now. Does ping our opponent, down to 20. More pings. Alright. We are doing stuff, which is cool. Okay, so, again, we can't really swing at all, because we need to keep things alive just long enough for us to do our thing. But I think we should be able to possibly stabilize. Oh, man. If we can just get at least Mirkwood Bats down, we would be okay, I think. At least I think so. Oran Risen. Oran Reef Ooze. Okay. Well, that's awkward. Alright. Well, I don't think we're going to survive this one. So, this might be another L. But it's totally cool. Because the deck actually doesn't too shabby, all things considered. Okay, so with that, we'll gain some life. Hold on. I forgot. Wow, I'm dumb. Okay, so block here, and block here. Now we activate Breya. Wait, what am I doing? Wait, what am I doing here? Wow. Okay, well, we'll gain some life. Sacrifice a token. Still at 9. Okay, so Mountain down. Mirkwood Bats. Pia Nalar. Make a token. Ping our opponent again. Down to 21. Well, I mean, at best right here, we could probably survive one more turn. That's pretty much all we can do at this point. But I think, considering how things went, it honestly could have gone a lot worse. I was expecting us to actually lose maybe like 2 turns ago. But hey, the deck is still capable of pulling off some things here. So I'm actually not too disappointed with how this turned out. Our opponent just got their +1/+1 counters faster than I thought, which is unfortunate. But the weakness of their deck, as you can see, is they don't have trample, so we can still chump block just a little bit longer. All right. Big swing opponent? Yes, they do. Ouch. So with that, I guess at this point, we don't really have anything else we can do, so all right. I guess I'll just block one more time here, but it doesn't really matter at this point because we're not going to survive the next turn regardless of what we do. So, I'll let our opponent do their thing and just blow us up here, which is fine, but okay, Tempered Steel. That would have been nice a turn or two ago, but it's a little too late. Breya gets a nice pump, but it doesn't matter. And yep, next turn we can't do anything, so we'll just give it a quit right there. Okay, so I'm looking at the clock right now, everybody. We're gonna try one more match, win or lose, and we will wrap it up from there. Once again, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you who have hung in there this long, and I really appreciate that all of you are sticking with me. All of you that are watching, whether you are watching live or if you're watching the replay stream. We are getting close to actually monetization on YouTube, which is actually really exciting for me. I would love to make a little bit of, even if it's only like a couple of dollars on YouTube, that at least proves that, hey, I can make actually money off of doing this. But by doing that, I'm just going to say right now, we're going to kind of unlock, if you will, the next part of this channel, which is, I know some of you have been asking me, are you going to do a Discord Infernoman? And to that, I say, if we can pull off at least that next goal of actually making a little bit of money on YouTube, I will definitely say we will start building our Discord and we'll create that. So that way, all of you who want to share your awesome budget decks, maybe we can have some fun chats and stuff. It'll be easier for you to see when I'm actually going to stream. We can definitely throw that up there. So keep an eye on that. And if you do want to see that goal achieved faster, hey, all you have to do is watch a couple extra of my videos, maybe stick around a little bit longer than normal on the videos. Because all we just need to do is just increase how much watch time everyone is checking me out. But otherwise, okay, going back to this. Okay, well, this is actually a really nice ramp hand. We definitely have everything we need to then start building up. So I think this should be okay. Okay, so our opponent is, okay, we're playing Bristly Bill again. That's just wonderful. Okay, a lot of green decks are setting us up with. This is because we're just playing 4-color shenanigans here? Either way. Okay, opponent's playing Forest. Of course, they have the Hardened Scales on turn 1. Really? 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 Ugh. It's okay. Okay, sorry. I had to just air that out for a second, everybody. Don't mind me. I'm just a little annoyed that they have a turn 1 hard scales. Okay? Okay, anyways. Command tower. So, any case. Okay, so we go into this. We have Ornithopter of Paradise, and we have Arcane Signet, so that's actually pretty nice either way. Anyways. Okay, opponent's got 5 cards in hand. They got hard scales already. What are you going to put down, opponent? Are you going to put down your commander now? Maybe. They do. Alright, so all we just have to do is to outpace them is we just need to start doing our thing. And with that, play Ornithopter Paradise now. Only just because we can't really cast anything off of the Arcane Signet anyway, so we might as well just put down the creature that can't be tapped immediately anyway. Right. Here come the shenanigans. They put course counters on it, so that means it'll ramp for even more. They swing. No blocks. 23. Alright. Well, next. Planes. How do we do this here? Okay, so. Gior is familiar. So this will start making everything cheaper here, which is nice for us. If we can start getting down a bunch of servos here, we might be able to survive a little bit longer. But our opponent is starting to go out here very quickly. And they're playing another alchemy card. I hate alchemy cards. I know. A lot of people have heard me complain a lot about alchemy cards, but come on. Cards like these really are not fair. So that's honestly why I'm just not a big fan of them at all. Okay, we're down to 60. In any case, sorry, I don't mean to complain, everybody. I do apologize for that, but it's a Healy. Alright, we will then...
This should be fun.
How do we do this here? I think... Arcane Signet. Token. Sky Scanner. Draw a card. Rip apart. Okay, well that's not the worst. Emery. Mill some cards. Okay, so not really anything we can really or at least tick down with Saheeli, but that wasn't a bad turn. We were able to at least get a servo out, so we're not doing too shabby here. But our opponent is allowing themselves to start doing their thing here with their shenanigans. But is it going to be enough? Either way, hoping that we can still go off here. But our opponent right now is going super duper big already. Ugh. Okay, so what do we... do we have to block everything again? Oh, man. Man, this stinks. Okay. So, Bristly Bill blocked. We can afford... one here. Down to 1. Wow. Okay. So, Demolition Field. Breya. Coming down. Get some tokens. Okay. So... not really anything we could do here. Alright, so what do we even do? I don't even know at this point. Okay. Do we just do tick down, I guess? Target artifact we control. Okay.
Genius is as genius does.
Keep the... oh, okay. I thought that was going to work the way I thought. Okay. Never mind, everybody. Wow. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I guess I'm just off my game. Okay. Any case, so how do we get out of this? Is there any way out of this? I don't know at this point. I think it's probably just going to be a loss for this one. Unfortunately, Bristly Bill goes off way faster than I was expecting, so we can't really get around that. It's just going to be super big no matter what we do. And of course, our opponent here with their alchemy card, it honestly just keeps going off, and there's not really anything we can do to stop it. As you can see, it's just doing this thing. So they make more free lands, which I don't think is fair, but hey, it is what it is. District Guide. So they will get from here a land. They all run basics, so our demolition field doesn't even do anything. Pump up everything. Oh dear, I hit the wrong card again. Wow. You know what? I don't even care anymore, anybody. Honestly, it's not that I'm just apathetic. It's just, it wouldn't have mattered either way here. So, we'll just end it there. I know. It was, oh man, I can't believe I just did that. Okay, it's fine. It's fine, everybody. Either way, I have to look at the clock right now, and I do know that I have to get ready for the other things I got to do today. So, we're going to have to cut it there. I apologize, but before we go, as always, let's go ahead and let's do a wrap-up, and let's see. Let's just have a little talk about the deck, of course. So with that, basically, that was it, everybody. Breya Thopters for you in a nutshell. And you tell me in the comments below, replay, live, what do you think about the deck? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? Would you play this on Arena, or would you even play this in paper? Truth be told, I actually am happy with the deck. I'm satisfied with the wins we got. It actually is a little bit more resilient than one thinks. And surprisingly, Breya, I mean, despite what she doesn't have any actual built-in protection like these new fancy commanders that people play these days, but she actually is very versatile with her abilities. We didn't really get a chance to trigger it off too much, but it actually still did its thing. We were able to hold our own for quite a while with what we had, but obviously for a deck like this, if you want to really get more value out of it, yes, I know I'm going to say it right now, you definitely got to upgrade a lot of stuff here. But even as a base value, I'd still say this is a great starting point if you want to build maybe like a 4-color artifact deck that's focusing on tokens. There are definitely going to be some token upgrades that I'm going to recommend for you now. So let's kind of go over that briefly. So there's a couple that I would highly recommend now. So let's kind of browse a little bit here, and we're going to show you maybe some good options for you if you do want to try to look at some really cool upgrades. So with that, so cards like, for example, Esper Sentinel, really sweet for the deck. That's going to be really nice for you. Cards like Final Showdown are really helpful. If you want to focus more on the token plan, things like Legion's Landing are, of course, are better for you. Or if you want to slow down your opponent, Authority of the Consuls, really great option for you there. If you want protection, you have cards like Giver of Runes. You have Skrelv here. If you're looking maybe towards just taking advantage of artifact options here, Toolgraphed Exemplar. Swords of Plowshare should be in the deck, but again, because it's a rare, and it honestly is actually not a rare in actual paper, it can be added in as well if you want to throw that in there. If you're looking at focusing on more of just pumping up your actual tokens, and you just want to do more of that, you have options for that as well. So with that, you have cards like Flowering of the White Tree, really good for you if you want to, again, just focus on more of the pump for your own stuff. If you do want to press your opponent for a bit and want to take more time, cards like Grand Abolisher are also great too, because it makes sure that they can't do anything during your turns while you kind of make your game plan. If you do want to also focus a little bit more on protecting your game plan, you have cards like Invasion of Gobakon here, which also give you some great pump as well. I would highly recommend that. Cards that help you also with the token shenanigans. And also if you want to add more artifacts, you have Skrelv's Hive. This is also a really cool card. I love this card personally, so definitely would recommend that one for you. If you want to focus a little bit more towards, like, if you want to pump up with other ways, you have cards like Saram. But this is, again, mostly if you want to go for artifacts like vehicles. But that's actually probably maybe another video. Going back to this, if you do want to also focus a little bit more on just pumping or at least slowing your opponent down, you have also cards like Archon of Emeria to help you out there. If you want to do some pseudo ramping, you have cards like Claim Jumper here, Eldrazi Displacer if you want to start doing some blink shenanigans. Eerie Interlude is okay for if you want to focus less on tokens and you just want to be able to blink your commander and other cards for more value. Other cards that may help you out. So cards, since we do have a little bit of life gain in the deck, you also can use cards like Heliod Suncrown to give you counters. And if you do want to go the counters route, there are definitely a lot of options for that as well. Again, same thing. If you want to do more of the token strategy stuff, Monastery Mentor here is also great for you. Other cards that can help you out if you're interested in maybe just doing a little bit more, such as with pumps like Tempered Steel. Cards that will help you with that would be mostly things like, I'm trying to think, what is the name of that card? Oh yeah, it's actually one of the colorless options here. So real quick, I'll show you that. The card I was talking about that's kind of similar if you want something really beefy for yourself is, wait, where is it at? Oh, there it is. So Forsaken Monument, really, really good for you if you want to just have more pump for your colorless spells, and also gives you some life gain, which is also really sweet for us. Going back into other options here that can help you out. So I'll kind of just type in right now. There we go. So that should help us kind of filter things out. So if you want to focus again on tokens, you can use some of the other commanders if you want to, like Arcane Elspeth here can be great if you want to focus on more of the counters and also tokens. You have cards like Elish Norn that can help you out as well. Anointed Procession, really, really awesome for us because again, we can make more treasures, we can make more Thopter tokens with this. This is really sweet for you. Wedding Announcement, same thing. It's a little slow, but it can also help you with card draw, or it can help you out with token strategies, and also will flip over into giving your creatures more pump, which is also sweet for us. Mondrak, another really sweet card. I absolutely love this card as well. Really sweet, and also you can make it protected from other things by giving it indestructible. You have to sacrifice some artifacts, but for our deck, that's perfectly fine. That's definitely going to be something you can take advantage of. Smothering Tithe here, if you want to be that person in your game, but ideally I would probably recommend this more for if you actually want to play this deck in Commander, like actual paper Commander. That actually would be something that if you can afford it, it's actually a really gnarly card and nobody really wants to pay the 2. So something to keep in mind, of course. If you're looking at other things in other colors, let's look at the other colors. So if you worry more about protecting your stuff, you can throw in counter spells. Not that something I would personally want for the deck, but again, that's something to consider. But if you want to focus again on artifacts, Simulacrum Synthesizer here, another really awesome card. I just don't have a copy of it yet, but it's actually really sweet for our deck since we do focus on token strategies. So really, really great. So consider that as well. If you want some more in terms of this kind of gameplay, let's see, what else can we add in here that I think would be helpful for all of you? So I guess cards like, I'm trying to think here. Well, Tezzerets are all pretty good. Like if you want to look at maybe more towards trying to come up with that kind of thing. So what I mean like that. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, everybody, but hang in there for a second here. Okay, so is that how you spell it? Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay. So Tezzeret Betrayer of Flesh here, really awesome. We don't use vehicles per se, but actually it's a pretty sweet card draw option filtering for us. Tezzeret the Schemer here, same thing. Not too shabby for us. It does make tokens, which is great and what you want. Tezzeret Master of the Bridge here, I would say is probably really good if you want a strong finisher for the deck. Really, really powerful with its +2/+2 ability once we have enough artifacts on the battlefield. So really great. I would highly recommend that for you. Not too much else I would say for blue. It's mostly just going to be, again, more towards the other colors. So going into black, what do you get in black? So if you want to be able to reanimate stuff, that's going to be your best option here. If you focus more on black for hard removal, that can be something to consider as well. If you want, again, more token strategies, you have stuff like Bitter Blossom here, which can be better for you overall. You have cards like Dreadhorde Invasion for, again, more token shenanigans. If you're looking again at maybe other ways of just getting more value out of your stuff, you can also use cards like Priest of the Forgotten Gods here. It doesn't really help per se with the overall plan, but the sacrifice part, if that's what you're more focused on, this can be great for you to kind of help you just keep building up stuff, drawing cards. Other cards that you can reuse over and over again would be cards like Scrap Heap Scrounger, great for you. You have other cards that can help you kind of do more of your game plan if you just want to focus on that kind of stuff, like Wishcall a Talisman. That can be fun. If you want to, you do have some decent wraths here if you just need to slow down the board. So consider that as well. Otherwise, I'm not sure really what else I would consider for black, mostly just because it tends to be more of a color that we really don't use all that often with artifacts. So it's not really a color you might want to consider. But again, just stuff to look at. Obviously, when you go into red, you have a lot more options for artifact stuff and strategies. So same thing. It mostly just comes down to, again, what you really want to focus your game plan on. If you want to focus more on combat, cards like Great Train Heist, really awesome, solid card for you there that can help you with that. You can utilize some more of the other cards that kind of help you build treasures. If you want to focus more on treasure building strategies there. If you want to focus a little bit more on, say, the actual burn part of it with cards like you saw Reckless Fireweaver, I love that card too, but there also are some options with that if you want to look into that. So cards like that can be Roiling Vortex, really good for you, again, for turning off opponent's life gain. If you want to use other cards that can be helpful for whenever you trigger certain things, so maybe Brass's Tunnel Grinder, something considering. Brotherhood's End here is also not too shabby, along with Breaches. If you want to focus a little bit more on treasure shenanigans, Brotherhood's End here is a good way of wrathing the board. However, it also can be used against if your opponent's a little more artifact heavy than you are. So things to consider. If you need something in a pinch, also, you can use Chaos Warp here, but it is a little risky in one-on-one, so something to consider as well. Fable the Mirror Breaker here, really, really awesome card for you if you do want to just make more tokens. If you do like the artifact strategies, you can also use Gadrick here, can be a really powerful flyer, and also can help also create some treasures for you that you can use for the deck. So other things like that to consider. Otherwise, I don't know really what else I would consider for red that would kind of enhance your game plan. Maybe Zorn. This again, if you want to do more treasure stuff, or cards like Chandra, if you just want to care again about just card advantage and just slowly giving yourself some more burn shenanigans here. I know obviously in my head right now I'm missing a bunch of cards, but I don't have all the time to talk about all them. So the final thing to wrap this up with. So if you just want to go with multicolor stuff. So I'll try to do this real quick because I do need to finish this up pretty quick. But otherwise, cards that mostly can help you out in this. And this is more towards, again, if you just want to focus on specific strategies. You can use cards like Loris if you want to bring back more of your 2-drops and 1-drops. You can then do, let's see, what's another card that I thought I saw here that was helpful? Cards like Tesa, since they do focus on tokens, so that's actually pretty sweet for you. Ethereal Absolution here can also help you make some extra tokens here. Not much else really with this color combination, so maybe it's more towards this with Is It colors. That can be cool too for you. And again, I know I'm rambling quite a bit here, but just stuff to kind of look at and doing. I'm trying to think what else you could do. So a little bit more removal and things like that. Prismari Command, cards like that. Giora here, really, really sweet for the deck. But no matter which way you take it, you still have plenty of options. There's so many ways you can go with this deck. You kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to get out here, everybody. Basically, you can just kind of go whichever way you want with this deck. I will still, of course, as I mentioned before, leave a link for this in the details for the description. So check those out if you want to get a copy of this. You want to play it on your own, maybe put your own spin on it. I would love to see what other cool options some of you out there may do. Maybe you guys have a combo that maybe I haven't considered for this deck. And of course, I will always link that with everything else. But otherwise, whew, okay, I think I've kind of exhausted my own personal self here. So I'm going to then slowly wrap this up in a bit, but we'll just back out real quick here. And then with that, honestly, I think that's pretty much it for today, everybody. So one more time, thank you, everybody, wherever you're watching the content, whether you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay. I do appreciate all of you. You are also all my true fiery friends. Oh, I did forget to mention one more thing before we actually really go. So for those of you who stuck around this late into the video, here's going to be the previews for our upcoming deck techs. So I have a really sweet option right here. If you guys saw, I put together a super duper budget deck that didn't have any rares or mythics, but what if we took that deck and decided to then infuse it with some of the most powerful counter spells in Timeless with a new card with Flare of Denial? So maybe, just maybe, that might be one of the cooler options to play in Timeless. But this will be coming soon, so don't worry. We'll show you how that's going to look coming up. You can see right here, we also are going to put together one of our first of many of the triple colored ultra budget deck decks. So we have Pirates coming up down the line, which will be continuing our series that we ended with Wolves with the dual colors. So be sure to keep an eye on that stuff. I'm looking on a Rakdos discard deck that is going to try to be a little bit, I know I'm going to say it right now, it's going to be mostly a Rakdos scam deck, but we're going to put our own budget version on it. So stick to that. You'll see that coming up soon. And then I did mention earlier, if you saw it at the beginning of the video, I am working also on an energy deck. I actually have maybe 3 energy decks I'm working on already, but this is the first one I want to put together. I just need more rares, or I should say mythic wildcards, before I can put it together. Man, it's going to be so expensive to build, but I assure you, it is going to look really sweet when we do. Anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for today, everybody, and I really hope that you kind of got some kind of insight. Hopefully you had a lot of fun with me stumbling a little bit here, but we still managed to get a couple of wins with the deck. But overall, I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you do watch the content, everybody. But no matter what you do, or no matter what you play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later.